meeting, MS4 meeting of February 24th to order. If everyone wants to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go.
Okay, roll call.
President Mirabito.
Present.
Vice President Bullsnake.
Present.
Secretary Romanishin.
Present.
Treasurer Schanenberger.
Present.
Member Samantha Angst.
Present.
All right, full complement. Solicitor Stinnett.
Here.
Engineer Madison.
Present.
Manager Flynn is here.
Okay. You have the minutes from the January meeting in front of you. Unless there's any questions, changes, or comments, I'll accept the motion to approve them.
Motion.
Motion by Brian, second by Lauren. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion
Abstain.
carried.
One abstention.
Sam?
Yeah. And that's because she was not present for the last meeting,
Correct.
just for as a note.
Okay, so I'm assuming we're looking at Portnoff to collect any uncollected bills at some point?
Yes, correct. So we have in the packet, there was an agreement, I think a resolution and an agreement for Portnoff Law Associates. That's the debt collector that we have for current real estate and sanitation. They've also been agreeable to collect the Stormwater Authority's stormwater utility fee delinquents as well.
Brad, am I looking at the right page here? Because I have a question. This is saying expires on December 31st, 2017. Is that something that's been in place, or?
What page of the agreement do you see there?
I'm past all this
Page
gray
one.
stuff, and page 1. At the top it says agreement for collection of delinquent municipal claims. Under number 2, under term.
I think the date's just...
Yeah, I think that's probably just a carryover from a prior agreement. They probably grabbed the borough's agreement, changed the names, and just missed that date.
So the date's incorrect.
Correct.
Okay. And at what date should it be then? 2025?
I would probably say...
Oh, to expire on.
Yeah.
How long is the contract?
Section 15.
25 years, does he agree?
No, not for,
No, not
Oh,
for that.
I would probably just do a year for now,
So it can expire.
and then we can do an amendment.
2026.
Yeah, so December 31, 2026.
Okay.
well, you want to do it from now till the end of 25.
December 31st, 2026.
So just to the end of the
25, rather.
Okay.
Yeah.
If,
Except they
If
won't be
it's-
collecting it.
That's
I
correct.
was just going to
That's
say,
my
but they won't
problem.
be collecting it until
No.
after December 31st of 2025.
Correct.
So it should actually be 26,
Okay.
right.
because collections won't start until January.
It would basically be expiring and then they wouldn't be collecting anything.
Okay.
And then I can always ask them too, what's the deal with that, or if it needs to be another date or whatever. So then we would need a motion, I guess, on the agreement, but also to adopt resolution, which would be resolution number 2.
Correct. And that resolution, under the municipal claims and tax liens law, you have to adopt your schedule of fees that then can be charged to those delinquent ratepayers. So that's just a step you have to take to authorize the collection at those rates.
Do we have a motion for that?
Motion.
Motion by Lauren, is there a second? Second by
Pam.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Manny, just for clarification, that was for the agreement end of the business?
Yes.
Okay. Then you would need a separate
And you
motion.
need one for the resolution.
Correct.
And that's resolution number,
It's going to be 2025-002 I have.
okay, and that's for the resolution for that. Is there a motion for resolution 2025-002?
Second.
Motion by Pam, second by Lauren. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Is there anything else that needs to, promotions?
For the bills down towards the finance update, you would. So if there was any other announcements, your public comment.
Any comments, Bill?
No comments.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about the billing and when the first ones are anticipated to go out?
Yes, billing. So we're working our way through the billing inventory in the database. They have the database built from QZ, the billers. They're going through quality control now. I'm told by March 14th they should have that completed. We'll have our server and everything linked up so that it's just like the sanitation. It all falls under that umbrella. Bills could go out as soon as end of March or the first part of April. That's what we're looking at right now.
Okay, you'll also see in your packet that there's a letter.
That's right. Yeah.
The office put that together to pretty much explain, to put in with the bill,
That's a good idea.
to explain how it works. So hopefully this will cut back on waste of time and effort having to explain everything all over again. So if it's all right with everybody, if you read the letter and let us know if there's any comments or questions.
I'm in agreement with it, I like it.
So everyone's good? Do we need a motion for that, or
Can I-
you're just sending it in, right?
I was going to ask them just if they authorize us to insert this in the bills. If that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion. We can do that by consensus.
Great.
So everyone's good with them putting
Yep.
it in? Okay. Alrighty, so that's
Perfect.
Bathborough Stormwater Authority operations.
Probably have nothing for that item at this point.
The only thing I will have in time for you to review prior to your next meeting, a proposal for the engineering services to design and permit the 3 basin projects that are required under the MS4 permit, and then the pollution reduction plan. There are 2 existing stormwater basins that were put in on Holiday Hill that have to be converted to today's design criteria, and then a rain garden has to be put in by the school district at the end of Broad. And the borough obtained the easement for that. At some point, we'll have to see if that easement has to be assigned to the Stormwater Authority or how that works. But what I anticipate is authorization to do the design and permitting so that we would get that done in 2025, with the idea that we would go out for bid and construction in 2026 and meet the regulatory deadlines for that implementation. So it's just giving you a heads up, it's on the way, it's coming. And based on the cash flow and the seed money, the borough provided the authority, and with the idea that the first set of bills, not everybody's going to pay up right away, that you should be able to afford the design and permitting, but not the construction, and then hopefully there's enough money rolling in that by the end of 2025, the authority will know whether or not they can finance the construction costs based on a loan against your revenue stream. So those are decisions you're going to be making at the end of 2025 when we have the design and permitting done and we have revised estimates of what the construction costs might be.
So Ron, I have a question.
Sure.
You know me, I have a lot of questions always.
No, that's fine.
When you're saying that you have to do something to change the water basins up on Holiday Hill, what exactly does that entail? What's it doing now, and what will it do when it's upgraded?
So, stormwater management of the 1980s ilk was pretty much just rate control. The rate of which water flowed into the basin would be monitored to reduce its rate as it left the basin.
Okay.
And the idea was that you would design the basin to hold back the new impervious area and the additional runoff caused by the development.
Okay.
However, it was pretty rudimentary science, and it does nothing for volume control, the idea of trying to get stormwater back into the groundwater versus the surface water. And it doesn't do anything for pollution reduction or removal. And so it's taking today's, if you were going to construct a brand new basin under the DEP guidelines, it would have volume controlled and try to encourage infiltration. It would have a pollution reduction forebays to try to get all the sediment out so it doesn't just get flushed through the basin. And those, and a lot of times there are wetland plants that are augmented to, particularly in a rain garden, to help absorb some of the pollutants. So all those, call it modern design techniques or best management practices, also known as BMPs, would be implemented. So it's a conversion of the existing basin the way it functions. It will still have rate control, but we will try to modify it to also incorporate pollution control and volume control. And it was the easiest projects to gain the pollution reduction credits under the DEP guidelines. And when the new permits come out for the next cycle, we'll have to come up with exciting ways that hopefully aren't more expensive, but they're going to keep asking for more.
Okay, good, thank you. I understand a little bit better now. And being at the bottom of that hill, I know that it's not retaining too much water because it's all coming down into my property, so.
Yeah, and there's a huge basin on the school district property,
Right,
and most people I've talked to said they've never seen water being held back in it.
exactly, yes.
So it was designed with the best technologies, probably of the
In the time.
1970s or 80s,
Sure,
but it's not really functioning.
okay,
It is likely that when the school district gets their first bill, that after they have their oh my gosh moment, they're going to try to come to us and say, well, what can we do to reduce our bill? And them doing a DEP design to convert their basin to do exactly what we're doing for pollution control
Right.
will get them a lot of credits and reduction in their bill.
okay,
But it means they have to do the cost-benefit analysis. Well, if it's costing us this much money every year, if we spend this much money, what's our return on investment? And, usually it will work out.
okay, thank you.
Sorry for the long-winded
No,
answer.
that's okay, I like to understand.
Okay. Any other questions for Ron? No? Does Lee have anything for us?
Well, first, apologies for not being able to make it to the first meeting. I had a family conflict and I couldn't make it, but I'm happy to be here tonight. I think we're rapidly moving toward getting the bills out, and I think after that point, we'll probably start to see some folks standing out there. So we'll have a lot of questions to answer. One thing that I was going to mention when Ron was speaking, it might be helpful for he and I to get together and discuss the draft permit that's in comment for MS4 and maybe plan to speak to that at the next meeting a little bit. We're evaluating it. It's in draft form, so it's open for public comment. But we are evaluating it to see what potential changes it might cause us to make to our programs that we've helped folks set up. So that's something we'll need to evaluate, but we'll try to have some comments for you next meeting.
And this is the next cycle?
Yes.
All right.
Is the next cycle in place already?
The draft, the draft permit is actually already very late, years late. It just came out for public comment a little while back, and it is a change. So we are currently evaluating what that means for our clients while it's in draft form. We're actually working with the Authorities Association on some articles and webinars as well. So, yeah, there are changes coming, but considering it's in draft, we don't know exactly how quick that rollout will be.
This would apply to our 27 permit, 28 permit, and beyond.
Yeah.
Our next 5 year,
Yeah.
correct?
But I think because it does look like a significant change, the extra runway that you all have as compared to others is going to be helpful to evaluate what we
Okay,
can do.
awesome.
So a lot of the more urban areas, like the cities, downtown Bethlehem, Easton, their permits, and they had to complete their PRPs, was it this year? By 20, or was it 2023?
I think it was
It's
23.
just really late, yeah.
And they weren't, because the draft was late, they still had to complete the projects. What's left unsaid is what happens to those who didn't do it in time. As the current thought is DEP is going to make them both come up to speed with the one that they didn't comply with, while also working toward the new. So they can't just say, oh, forget it, we didn't do anything for 10 years and we don't have to do any of that. So the thought is there will be a time period in which they need to bring themselves current with the prior permit while also looking to comply with the new one.
That sucks for them, but I'm hoping they give us a little bit of time to
Yeah.
pay off the first one before we have
Yeah.
to do the second.
Yep.
That's insane. Okay, so, yes, you don't need a motion for that, or
No.
just the consensus of, yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
So everyone's good with that? Okay. Treasurer's report?
January treasury report was in the packet, and I'm just looking for a motion to ratify the bills that were paid to January 31st.
Motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Brian. All those in favor signify by saying aye, unless there's any questions.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So we're broke now, right?
I'm getting there. Need some bills. Need some bill revenue.
That's brutal. Until something comes in. Okay. We have enough to pay these guys?
Yes. Yes.
That's rough. Okay.
Next 5 minutes.
For the next 5 minutes? Well, then let's cut this really short. Is there anything else that you guys have for us? Or if not,
That's it.
then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Sam, second by Pam.
Hurry to get out of here.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
26, I'll say.
That just saved us $35 from each of them.